It's Show Us Your Tips midweek preview time for Pro Group Racing. Daggy and Beaver with you to look forward to two wet programs. One at least knocked around quite a bit by scratchings this morning. Beaver, how was the weekend, first of all?
Just trying to think back, mate. It's such a long time ago. I think the weekend was pretty good
Yeah,
overall.
I think it was productive. I never have an answer to this question when I ask it. So
Yeah, no, I think the Beaver was low flying up in Queensland. I think I remember getting some messages off yourself on the day with some good tips.
yeah,
And I think Sydney and Melbourne was reasonably productive as well.
no, I think across the board it was quite good. Sydney wasn't too bad for us. But we will come back and do another Saturday preview tomorrow night. But today we'll get into we'll start off at the Hillside at Sandown, where the rail is in the 10-metre mark, I believe, with a heavy 8. So we'll just see probably up and off is where you want to be at Hillside. Don't be too far back from the speed. Hasn't really dried out down there yet. Kick off with the 2-year-old fillies, though, with what could be a good race. All of these are tried up quite well. How are you going to start the day, Beaver?
Yeah, small field here of 6. 3 right in the market here, all are sort of around that $3.70 mark. A couple of first starters from the Busted and Young stable, so I was going that way. I thought both of their trials have been impressive enough, so I think they might be primed and ready to run well. Just leaning towards the car-ridden Guru Ramdas at the moment. I think it might be the hardest to beat, but close watch on the other Busted and Young's starter.
I had him the other way around, Presimi and Arch on top, but exactly the same thoughts. Both have trialled well and both look talented. I think this is a good race. But for me, Presimi and Arch on top from Guru Ramdas and then back to the second at Portsea. But I thought the trials for the 6 were quite good here. Not sure if the jockey booking suggests anything there between the two. But as usual, the 2-year-olds will know more after the fact. Race 2 is a 1,700-metre benchmark 78, where I'm going to, well, not much per in the favourite now, but Gate Crash, this is surely its race now. But going okay, gets blinkers and Craig Williams, and a race with really no depth at all here, especially after the scratching. I think it probably positions where it wants, takes off when it wants and wins. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree with you here. I thought actually better than even money at the moment. It was pretty good in this 5-horse field, of which the bottom 2 not overly keen on. Won its first 2 this prep, and then last 2 runs at Sandown haven't been the worst runs in the world. 1,700 back a bit in distance probably suits and is okay in this small field. I thought it looked one of the better bets with Williams aboard.
Race 3 is for the girls, 3-year-old girls over the mile. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is a super tricky race here. I was really struggling to line these ones up, to be totally honest. I kind of just went looking around here for something at a little bit of value, and I came up with Mornington Mask at the double figure odds. It's only lightly raced, only had the 3 starts, has improved each time. 2 runs this prep, stepped up in distance up to the mile, and was pretty good last start. Third up, 3 kilo claim, thought it could run well. But yeah, the 2 Delicious Tycoons been good in its first 2 runs this prep, and Gabstar ran a nice race last start, so all chances, but lightly raced, and hard to get a line on some of this form.
I think third up now, I'm going to stick with Delicious Tycoon, getting Ben Mellum, and the inside gate here, I think might play out as a big advantage on the day. From the horse that beat at home last time, Gabstar, but covered a lot less ground. And that was about the race for me. I think 1 and 2 have this between them. But interesting what you said about with the claim there and Mornington Mask, see if that right down the weights helps that one out. Race 4 is the staying contest on the card, benchmark 70, 2,400 metres. Keen on one at a bit of a price here. Don't usually find them coming from this form line, but I thought Vintage D's was going pretty well. Stable seems to know when to bring them to town. a claim for Hannah Edgley to bring it back under, in line with a lot of the rest of the field, and absolutely swims, gets through the wet really well, has had the run over the 24, and it's double figures. So on top for me, and a bit keen. I don't think there's much else in this race. Wazaka is a horse I used to find a fair bit early on. Now it's sort of got a new lease on life with a couple of wins together and might be able to put 3 in a row. But I think it's a bit of a value play in the 4th. Beaver, yourself?
Yeah, pretty open affair this, and I went looking for a bit of value just like you did, and I came up with Vintage Diesel as well. Stable's going really well at the moment. This horse now looks fit, really fit, 4th up, going from the 14 to the 2000 to the 2500, and sticking around that. But yeah, ran on really nicely, gets the 3 kilo claim, and won pretty comfortably last start. I thought it was a really good win. I thought its main danger was the McAvoy trained Zafala, also a decent value, coming over from went to Murray Bridge, and absolutely motored home there. Was pretty impressive, and prior to that had some really nice runs around the traps in Melbourne. Gets back in the field, but has a powerful finishing burst. So if they're finishing off down the middle of the track, this might also run a really strong 2400. So I'll be looking at both those two.
Lovely. Like you're thinking there. The 5th on the card is a benchmark 70, again over the 1,000. We see the resumption of Fire. Great trial after bolting in here. End of last prep. All looks great. I just have a feeling it's a dry tracker. And that's my concern. It's big fastnet rock horse. If all things were equal, I'd be declaring it. Bit of a concern here. Did you have a thought on that? But I might have an each way play here on I Remember When, who's unbeaten, but looked to get through the wet really well. Sat outside lead and well out and wide at Moe. I know it wasn't against a lot, but I thought it was really tough through the line. And if you've got a bit of doubt over the favourite, I thought might be a value play. And along the river was dynamic early last prep, and comes back to a scene of one of its best wins and a run well as well. But what do you make of Fire and the rest of the race?
Well, I think Fire's packed with plenty of potential, and on the basis that Hawks is still starting it on the heavy track.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that it can handle the track. And heavy 8, so it's probably on the closer side to slow than real heavy, which is a good sign. So I'm just going to trust the Hawk's instinct there and go with Fire.
No, fair call. I think that's you've got to take it. The trainers at trust there. Another 1,000 is the race 6, the bigger field here. Perhaps a trickier one. How do you line these all up?
Yeah, real tricky race here. Could be a bit of a trap. We've got more resuming, and then a couple of other horses in the market here that have ran some nice placings in recent starts. I've gone for, again, a bit of value. Baby No. Rarely runs a bad race and gets 3rd up here. Goes well fresh, sits on the pace, should handle the conditions okay, and gets its chance to break through here after running a lot of minor placings.
I've maybe want a better price, but I end up with Sugartown on top. Has been consistent enough this prep, gets through the wet fine, and is due to win one of these. Sometimes that doesn't happen, which I know is a concern. From Moore, who resumes here, Jamie Carr, as you've said, trials have been okay, and I think will be in a finish. I've gone 3 from 2. Again, I like a little bit of value there. Craig Williams seems to be doing quite well at the moment, so no issues backing him at all. Race 7 is the 1,500 metre, benchmark 70. Most interesting runner on the card, I thought, pops up here in French Emperor. Now, this is a horse we were talking about going to a derby a year ago, and came back and sort of fluffed around, had excuses in a couple of midways, which is disappointing. Now it's gone to a big stable shift down to the Price Kent yard and has trialled absolutely sensationally. Won, I think, by 10 lengths last trial and just bolted in. If they've got unlock the key to this, it is do you unlock a key? You unlock a door with a key, don't you?
Something like that, mate.
If they've found the key to French Emperor, this is a great bet here at $3.40. If they haven't, Free Flung Star, you mentioned last week, gets quick backup, stable flying. Craig Williams gets around the track all right. But I'm pretty keen to find out, actually. I think this might be a talented horse and in the right hands now. What have you made of this?
Yeah, I had a fairly similar view as you. I thought French Emperor was the key here, given it resuming today. I think if it's fit enough, 1500 sets up perfect for it. So I'm willing to find out there. But I thought the big danger was Jupiter's from the Wallace stable. Only had the 4 starts, but was first up here last preparation, and I thought the run at Sandown over 1200 was fantastic. It hit the line really well there. A little bit of condition gave out towards the end. Looked like it was going to be really right in the race there. Did only finish a couple of lengths off them, but condition gave over that last little bit. I think it'll be further improved by that and out to the 1500. Certainly won't let it get under my guard. I'll probably split my bet here.
Good call. Because its last prep was sensational. So yeah, up in distance definitely suits that one. Last of the day, we've got half the field out now, over 1300 benchmark 70. Leaves with Jonty on top, absolute swimmer. Gate 3 from outside gate now should get across fairly easily and get nice control here. And he's still at a just about each way price, suits me. So on top from me, from So Risque, resumed okay, and gets a much better setup here with the scratchings. What do you make of the last?
Yeah, I've gone for So Risque. I thought it was a nice bet here. Second up, after a nice first up run behind Bill the Boxer, who's flying at the moment, going really well. I think franked its form after that race. I think it won the last weekend.
Missed.
Oh, it just missed.
Oh, did it win?
No, didn't it just win?
It might have just won.
Yeah.
It was in the finish.
Anyway, it was a good run. So I think that shows that So Risque's run was really well. Jonty meets a little bit stronger field here. I guess you'll get a good line of how it's going based off Delicious Tycoon earlier in the day. Stepping up a little bit in quality here. It did win the start before that, beat the Great Bratsky, who came out and won, I think on Saturday at one of the provincial country tracks in Melbourne. So it's going well as well. I think those two have the last race between them, but just slightly leaning to the 5, So Risque at the moment.
Beautiful. Have you got a best in value for Pro Group Racing?
Yeah, look, my best bet comes up in the second race, number 2, Gate Crash. I think it'll be winning. And my value bet comes up in race 4, number 2, Vintage Diesel.
I'm with you on the vintage. We are going to, I'll be with you with the value. Vintage Diesel, I think, runs very well here. And I'll make my best French Emperor. We'll have a crack at the Price Kent stable, really getting that one right. We head to Kenzo, where the meeting's been, I think, just about cut in half by scratchings on a heavy 10. They obviously getting some rain in Sydney town. We're out west and haven't copped near as much, but we'll see what we can find if what's left. We kick off with the 1100. Oh, rails in the 5, probably down the middle by the end of the day as usual there. Girls 2-year-old 1100 meters kicks us off. For the fillies, Beaver, talk here because I'm having trouble with it.
Yeah, no worries, mate. You're gibbering as normal. It is only early. First race here. I've gone for Victorine from the Cummings stable. Raced in some group racing as a 2-year-old last preparation and acquitted itself okay. This is a pretty weak field. Resuming here, I think it can go on top, number 10.
Yeah, after scratchings, obviously two very talented horses came out of this race, which didn't help. But I'm left with cruising the field on top. Will roll forward and might be able to pinch the first at Kenzo on the lead from Victorine now, who, as you said, competed in some better stuff, but then also let us down in a couple of maidens as well. So 4 from 10 in the first. The second for the 2-year-old boys is again over the 1100 meters. We had a big spruik on Resonu at times last prep, and at times let us down, but the trials have been fantastic heading here. J-Max back on the card as well. The big fish is back. So I've got it on top. I think it's ready to win here, but one I'm keen to have a bit of a saver on is Annihilate. It was $15 last night, coming a bit with deductions, but 2 super quiet trials. Pike on, I think will perform better than the price suggests, but it might be Renoso's race for the taking here. What have you made of this one?
Yeah, I've got Resonu on top as well for all the reasons you said, mate. I think trialling well and with J-Mac on top looks to be a nice bet, albeit slightly short.
1500 meters, 72 comes up next. Again, 3 scratchings come out. I'm left with Ice Crusher on top. The price is held up actually. Going okay this prep. Am I thrilled about the jockey stable combination? Can't say I am, but I also can't find a lot to beat it. So I don't really know what else to say about the race. So on top by default, and to be honest, now is probably hard to beat because the rest of these are provincial horses. Any thoughts?
Yeah, look, I was thinking the same, but I've gone for Notions. Just a little bit better price, handles the give in the ground. I went to Coolangatta to run in the Winx Guineas, the Group 3 at Coolangatta, and sort of was sitting midfield and lost the spot, got pushed back, and then finished off okay in that. And that was after a nice win at Goulburn, carrying a big weight. Just gets back here. I think this is a pretty competitive affair, and I thought I just like the Collett Friedman combination, and I thought it could run really well.
Yeah, fair call there. 1800 meters, 72, 5 horses left in this one. Look, which does set up well for Chateau Park not to be so far back. I think it's going okay. Back from a luckless run in the midway, and then I don't know if Canterbury necessarily suited it. Now gets Jay Collett. Good wet track rider, as you mentioned. And I think it's going to be hard to beat. Can probably sweep down that outside fence by this time and wrap them up. Yeah. Any thoughts?
No, I went for Steplee for similar reasons that you've gone for Chateau Park. I just think it's a slightly better horse. And it's also been running quite well in similar races. Finished a nice second to Milky Bar Kid last start at juicy odds, and then it runs some good races again at Randwick in some decent company after a good win at Scone. It gets back in the field, but I think it could be sweet sitting behind and not as far back and slog it out and win.
Yeah, cool. The 5th race is the 1500 meter, 72. 4 horses left here. I was going to tip the Timpanist before the scratching, so I'm going to tip it here. Inside gate, Tom Sherry, David Payne back in distance is generally what you want from him, it seems. And I think it'll be a chance. The market suggests that. I've not left with a lot else to talk about. The rest of these are average horses. So we'll go with Timpanist inside gate rolling along there, Beaver. Yeah.
Oh, mate, you could put all 4 in a hat and just pick one out here. The market suggests that $3 to $4.50. I'll leave this one alone and let the punters follow you, mate.
Alrighty. Probably back the outsider in a 4-horse field. Isn't that the way it usually works? 1100 meter, 72. Have you got anything better for us here?
Again, another really tricky race. But I settled on, I've just lost my spot here. I settled on the top weight Quick Tempo. Thought it could run really well. First up here, it's had 5 wins from 7 starts, and they were all its first 5 starts before finishing 6th down in a couple of races at Randwick, but wasn't far off the winners in both of those. Resumes here. I think it can run well fresh up and sets up nicely for it. I'm
gonna stick with Glacier Queen, a bit under sufferance, but Actually, it isn't going too bad, this prep. It's just missed behind $1 Billion Baby. Before that, won well at Warwick Farm. And this is largely, again, lower standard than what it's been against. And the danger might be quick tempo rolling along out front. If it kicking off 1,100 meters is interesting, though. He spent a lot of its life at 1,000-meter land. But, process of elimination, Glacier Queen should be hard to beat here. 1,300 meters, 72 wraps us up. We've got this import starting, and it stayed in a couple of okay trials. What was your opinion of it? I found it hard to line up, to be honest.
Yeah, I found it very hard to line up as well. It suddenly had the 2 starts in Great Britain and won one and then finished second. The one at won really well, and then it was given a bit of nearly 12 months off, so not sure what the go was there. Then come back and ran a nice second, and has now had nearly another 12 months off before starting in Sydney. So interesting runner. I guess if it's got some ability, it should be winning this. But I went for Torfik Glass, the other Lee's horse here with Piker Board. Just thought its last couple of runs have been good, particularly like the way it sat outside Ice Crusher and beat it fairly convincingly at Canterbury. I thought that was a good run. Was on the heavy. It goes well on the heavy and slow tracks. I think at the price, you probably just got more known quantity about Torfik Glass, and that's the reason I've gone that way.
I went the same way. And we get a line through Ice Crusher earlier. And Pike going on good as well. So I'm going to go with Torfik in the wet here to beat Nevaeh's, who will roll along up on pace. Brent Abdullah forming a great combination lately with the Waterhouse team. And big watch on Spangler. Be interesting to see what the market does there. They might well jump out of trees to back it, but we'll watch. But I'll finish today with Torfik Glass for the same reasons as you. I'll make my best on the card, though. Glacier Queen, based off what's left. And with a lack of value in a lot of these fields, let's say Annihilate in race number 2 and 2-year-old race might run better than the price suggests. Do you have a best in value?
Yeah, look, I've got my best is race 2, number 9, Resonu. I think it'll be hard to beat. And I didn't have a value, so I've got another best, and that's race 4, number 3, Steplee. So I thought they were the best 2 bets on the card.
Good job. What do we got up north?
Yeah, even Ipswich was a little bit of a tricky day today, but I did find a few for us. My bets started a bit later in the day. Race 4, number 2, Noble Cat, run the $3.20, $3.50 mark. I think it will run really well. Race 6, number 3, Starzan, from the Swedish stable, will be hard to beat. And then in the last, race 8, number 1, Vaccine. So all of those around the $3.50 mark, $3 to $3.50.
Lovely. Good luck today, Beaver. Good luck, punters. We'll be back. Check out progretracing.com.au as always, and we'll be back Thursday night to preview the weekend ahead. Take care, and we'll talk soon.
Bye for now.